This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
So the hits just keep on coming for Donald Trump where it relates to Twitter. Yesterday, I talked about how a court forced him to unblock me after almost 3 years because he's a sensitive little snowflake. He's a little thin-skinned child and couldn't handle any criticism, even though he's president of the United States of America. Well, the hits just keep on coming in the way that yesterday, Twitter decided to fact-check, officially put a little warning tab below his tweets that contain misinformation. We don't know exactly where the policy is leading, but up to now what we know is the lies that he's telling and the fear he is whipping up about absentee ballots, mail-in voting. They've decided that is, I guess, a bridge too far. Again, I'm not here to criticize or be a fanboy for the policy because it leaves a lot to be desired. It opens up a whole bunch of other questions like who are they going to fact check? How much are they going to be doing of this? Is it just going to be Donald Trump? I'm fine with that. But these companies aren't very forthcoming when it comes to details related to their particular policies. So I want to talk about this because it is a remarkable thing to behold, just to witness the glory of Donald Trump, his loss after loss after loss related to his ongoing, years-long misinformation propaganda campaign. So it started with the tweets that I talked about in an earlier video about the mail-in voting stuff. There is no way, zero, that mail-in ballots will be anything less than substantially fraudulent. Mailboxes will be robbed, ballots will be forged, and even illegally printed out and fraudulently signed. The governor of California is sending ballots to millions of people. Anyone living in the state, no matter who they are or how they got there, will get one. That will be followed up with professionals telling all of these people, many of whom have never even thought about voting before, how and for whom to vote. This will be a rigged election. No way. So again, there's all kinds of stuff wrong in the tweet. One, there is zero evidence after multiple study after study, that absentee ballots are ripe for fraudulent activity, voter fraud. There's no evidence of that. But also, he's lying when he says that they're going to be sent to sending ballots out to millions of people. Anyone living in the state, wrong. It's registered voters, no matter who they are or how they got here, indicating that undocumented immigrants who are not citizens of the country will get a ballot. That is not true. That is factually incorrect. There's not even a mechanism to do that. And then also, the part that really it's so Donald Trump. That will be followed up with professionals telling all of these people, many of whom have never even thought about voting before, Donald Trump presides over a presidency because of the fact that there were millions of people who never thought about voting before but decided to vote for him. A new class of the politically baptized. Blue-collar people, no shame in being blue-collar, but people who didn't care about politics, who didn't concern themselves with politics. It wasn't for them. But he rang true to a lot of these people, some of them just low-educated, low-information idiots. Some of them had real concern about the way their life was going, whether it be economic downturn, their jobs are going away because our society is becoming more technological. We have a less of a reliance on certain industries, coal, things like that. But Donald Trump, to bitch and complain about people who never thought about voting before are going to be voting, that he should be championing that because it helped him. And not only that, like I always say, more voices are better. More participation is better. And for a sitting president of the United States to complain that too many people are going to be voting is disgusting. Well, shortly after he tweeted it, there showed up kind of an alert with a big exclamation point, kind of a warning. And it was a link that said, "Get the facts about mail-in ballots." And when you click that link, it brings you to this alert. Trump makes unsubstantiated claim that mail-in ballots will lead to voter fraud. On Tuesday, President Trump made a series of claims about potential voter fraud after California Governor Gavin Newsom announced an effort to expand mail-in voting in California during the COVID-19 pandemic. These claims are unsubstantiated, according to CNN, Washington Post, and others. Experts say mail-in ballots are very rarely linked to voter fraud. That's what I talked about. Fact. I'm not one of the experts they're referring to, but it's a fact. Watch my previous video where I go through all of the evidence. The 4 different cases during 2016. The 4. 3 of which involved Republicans fraudulently voting for Trump. Well, he went off about this. He tweeted, "Twitter is now interfering in the 2020 presidential election. They are saying my statements on mail-in ballots, which lead to massive corruption and fraud, is incorrect, based on fact-checking by fake news CNN and the Amazon Washington Post. Twitter is completely stifling free speech, and I, as president, will not allow it." What are you going to do, Donald Trump? You have 0 power to do anything to Twitter, you coward, you clown. How is Twitter interfering in the 2020 presidential election? And please, somebody explain to me how putting a little fact check below a tweet is stifling your free speech. You were still freely allowed to tweet the tweet. Millions of people were still freely allowed to read the tweet, to interact with the tweet, to forward the tweet, to comment on the tweet. Dipshit. Your free speech rights are by no means being stifled. I wonder who wrote that one for you. And then this morning, never to be one to be outdone by even himself, Republicans feel that social media, I know a lot of liberals who think Jack Dorsey is a goon, who feel like they are being shadow banned or whatever on Twitter. Republicans feel that social media platforms totally silence conservatives' voices. We will strongly regulate or close them down before we can ever allow this to happen. You see the autocratic tendency there? He's threatening a private company with shutdown. He is threatening a company that doesn't get government money. This isn't a government agency. This is a business. We will shut them down before we ever allow this to happen. We saw what they attempted to do and failed in 2016. We can't let a more sophisticated version of this happen again. Just like we can't let large-scale mail-in ballots take root in our country, it would be a free-for-all on cheating, forgery, and theft of ballots. Whoever cheated the most would win. Likewise, social media, clean up your act now! 4 exclamation points. Donald Trump wants to be a dictator. Donald Trump is not used to being told no, because he was born a silver spoon brat on a giant pile of money, and he turned that giant pile of money into a, some would say, slightly larger pile of money. Some would say he squandered it and would be far richer had he let some actual smart person deal with his money. But Donald Trump has never been told no. And he's now finally, I guess, in some way, being told no. That you're not going to be able to just unfettered lie to the American people. Or at least, hey, listen, if you're going to do it, you're not going to do it on our platform, Twitter says. Like I said, there are all kinds of questions. Who is going to be fact-checked? Is this going to be rolled out en masse? Is this going to be used against anti-vaxxer ding-dongs? Smaller individual private citizens? Is it going to be there? Are they going to build some algorithm around this? It seems to me they better have a plan in place going forward, or this is going to turn out to be a PR nightmare in the midst of this 2020 election, where the conservatives are looking for any little touch point, any little thing to be a culture war. They've desperately wanted this to be the mark. I mean, Donald Trump was elected largely because of his nefarious activities on Facebook and troll farms with the help of the Russians. So for him to bitch and complain is just, it's rich. Anyway, as always, I would love to know what you think. 714-576-4054. Of course, you can always email me, daily@dollemore.com. There's a conversation here that we need to have. This is important because this isn't going away until Donald Trump goes away. So let me know. Love to hear from you. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you guys. Every moment that you spend engaging with my content, it means a lot. So be genuine. Take care of one another.